What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 124 of the Sonic Movie Show, the only show that's about Sonic news, movie news, and Sonic movie news. That's the line,
Sonic
right?
news,
I said the
movie
correct?
news, Sonic movie news, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe it's because we do some video game movie reviews. I have that extra line I say for those, and we do a thing. Whatever. My name is Ethan. With me here to do these things is Devin.
Hawaii.
Yes, as a quote from the final trailer for Sonic Movie 2, or Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the movie. The trailer just came out a couple days ago, or a day or so ago. We are giving our last-minute reactions and predictions and see what this movie is gonna be about. Are you excited? Why don't we start with what we usually end some of these with at the beginning. Has the hype changed for you by seeing this? Yay or nay?
I mean, I think I was at like a good 90. As we get closer and closer, the hype is getting there. But they've been doing such a great job with the marketing on social media and slowly putting out these trailers and teasers. That's hard not to just be at 100% at this point. Maybe I'm at a 99. Maybe 100% will be like, as I'm sitting down, the trailers are playing, got my popcorn, you got my soda pop. I'm drinking it, and I'm a little nervous, maybe, but not a bad nervous, more of like anticipating nervous. That's the thing.
You already have to pee.
Already got to pee, but it's like just nerves. I think that's at the point where I'm gonna be 100%. But yeah, I mean, it's here, and it's kind of crazy how it feels like. Just yesterday, we were covering the first one, but also does it at the same time, and I'm just ready for that whirlwind again, where will this live up to the hype? Will it exceed expectations? Will it go in a direction we're not expecting? There's so many what ifs, and I think that's just what makes it exciting for me.
Nice. Last time I said I was at 99%. I was edging. Anything could put me over this edge and get me up to 100. Seeing this now, there is one tonal aspect that is kind of putting me off a little bit.
Okay.
That I think and I hope is just for the trailer to kind of a mood that they want the trailer to present. So I'm going to drop down to 97%. But it's only because I'm like, you know what? I bet this is just for the trailer. I bet, cause I don't really think this trailer is all that good. Some of it's a little bit for me. But I guess we can go into it when we go into it. But yeah, I mean, I'm basically the same with you with all that. I'm just, this trailer. Do you want to talk about it?
Let's just go in.
Okay. Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik isn't funny in like any of this stuff. Not even in a like comical, amusing tone that he has in any of the shots in this trailer. It's almost like it's a different person entirely.
Really?
From what the previous trailers were setting up. The way he talks about how the world is changing when he comes out and he's got the chaos energy in him, and I imagine making the giant Death Egg robot with metal parts around him. That's probably what that is. Probably with his chaos or whatever.
Yeah, because there's
energy.
one part from the other scenes where it looks like the robot's coming out of a tornado. So I think you're right that.
And the tornado is clearly being made from all of this parts. So he talks about like this is the new norm or whatever, but he's not even in like the funny, jokey, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm
way
sure that
goofiness.
That line I think is probably at a different scene. They probably just have it, playing over the trailer,
Or it's just a different take. Like, I like for the Spider-Man Scooby-Doo this shit versus Scooby-Doo this crap that they did for the trailer. I would imagine, I'm hoping that it's maybe something like that. But yeah, that kind of took me away a little bit, where I'm like, oh, I kind of wanted him to be, goofier. Like, Eggman should never be serious, if that makes sense. Like, even when, obviously, he's serious about his plans, like, his demeanor, how he presents himself, should not be serious.
Cartoony.
You know what I mean? Exactly. Like, that's what, he's always just the laughing, fat, man in the original games, and then, his goofy voice in the main games onwards, and the fact that half the games he just wants to make a theme park or a city based off himself. You know what I mean? With his face everywhere. He calls himself Eggman in those games, But I don't know if this is like not what you got at all, or
I feel like this was just for me showing additional, at least different, because we've had many discussions about at what point are different things happening. At what point is he fighting Knuckles? Is it going to be in the beginning? Is it going to be throughout? Is it going to be in the middle? Is it going to be at the end? Is Knuckles going to be his friend, like kind of like in Sonic Adventure? And watching this, I feel like we got a little bit more into what the structure is, and I think we were kind of mostly correct, but also incorrect in some ways.
I agree.
I still think that it's hard to tell from this last trailer too if like all this is in the first 20 minutes, which would be dope, by the way. I like when trailers, because I feel like nowadays so many trailers just show like the three main phases of the film: the beginning, the middle, at some point action scene or some sort of climatic thing, and then the end with whether it's showing set pieces. They did it with Spider-Man. Granted, there was other things in that movie that made it fun and exciting and surprising, but I still knew that, like, okay, at the end they're going to be at this spot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just based off what the trailer was and what they showed in that. And that's why lately I've been trying to avoid trailers for, like, when I went and saw the Batman, I didn't see like the last couple trailers because I didn't want to be going in with a different expectation on something and maybe disappointing myself. But since we're doing this show and we're all about covering everything, we have to watch all these.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, okay, we know the snowboarding is going to be directly connected to that scene in Hawaii. We know they're in Hawaii having a wedding. We know there was a wedding happening or some sort of event happening. Yeah. We didn't know at what point that was. We figured it was going to be at the start, but it's like, okay, is this in the middle? You know, like, or is this in the very beginning? You know what I mean?
I think it's in the. It's tough because, like, okay, there's a scene right now with the biplane and the giant Death Egg robot. In the old trailer, the first trailer, Sonic is on the top, Tails is flying, and Sonic asks, or Tails says what his name is. That doesn't make sense anymore because they've done the snowboarding stuff. They can't have fought the giant Death Egg robot and the town has seen Robotnik if that is before Sonic says that Robotnik is back and they don't know that. Yeah. So my thinking is what we were saying with changed lines, I wouldn't be surprised if that's not what they say at all in the movie. That was for the trailer to have a funny thing where, okay, here now we're showing the meat, in quotes, because we don't want you to think that you missed something from this trailer if they're already buds. You know what I mean? But then why are they running around? Why are they searching? The Tails line. They
wouldn't be having a wedding if Eggman's back, by the way. Like, all the characters. So we know that, like,
Tom would not be there.
This wedding, I think we can at least say, is happening at least in the first hour. Guaranteed. If not the first half hour of the film.
I bet it's I bet this wedding is a very easy way to reintroduce all of our human characters and their relationships to each other, because they're all there. You know what I mean? Everyone is right there. Everyone has opinions about Sonic. We get I think the funny line of, oh Lord, there's two of them, when she sees Tails.
Yeah.
But then Tails says the same line from the end of the first movie, and we've seen in the trailer, he's got a different background on. He's got a backpack on.
Backpack.
And they did a really terrible ADR of, I hope we're not too late. Like, listen to it again. It's some pretty bad ADR. There's some bad ADR in this trailer. So I don't think it was put together all that well. There are some parts where Sonic says, "You forgot one thing, I'm unstoppable." It's not what the lips are saying. There are definitely good trailers I've seen where they ADR in a line, and it looks like the lips say that. And that shot isn't changed or anything like that. They just did a good job. Here, it didn't look like a good job. Obviously, that's not indicative of the quality of the movie. Duh, this is a marketing material to get us that already bought our early tickets for fucking $20-something at AMC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To just make sure we still want to see it. But
I will say that, like,
I'm confused, but, like, I'm not upset. My fear, though, is that there isn't anything new left to show. Because what you're saying is, like, what if this is all in, like, the beginning? I can feasibly see most of this being at the beginning, within the first 40 minutes. I can see that. However, I think the fight, him running to the beam of light, and then this thing where Sonic and Knuckles are fighting around the Chaos Emerald, I think they're Chaos Emeralds. I think they're hunting for Chaos Emeralds, and my fear is that they're all fucking green. But because that'd be dumb. This has to be towards the end. This has to be the climax.
Yeah, maybe here. I guess this is a random plot. I mean, not plot thing, but like idea is that Knuckles and Sonic beat each other up, and that gives Eggman the time to destroy them both. And
yeah,
that's like one of the things is that like, oh, then they realize they need to team up together or something.
All right, and then we have 20 more minutes. You know what I mean?
So like, I like that this trailer is showing me more set pieces, I guess. And I guess it's going back to like how trailers like set up my expectations. My expectations are no longer this takes place where in multiple places on Earth. This might just take place in a couple places again, which I don't know if I'm going to like or not, because one of our things that we criticized in the first Sonic movie was it felt small, which is okay because it's a smaller budget video game movie. They spent a lot of money in the animation and whatnot, and we weren't expecting this big Sonic Adventure level thing. It was a good first standalone thing, but now that the success of the first one, and them showing them like what looked like we thought was in Russia or something at one point in that second trailer, and now they didn't show any of that again in this, and they show them snowboarding, but they did teleport. So I'm like, okay, maybe they do go there, but it's like a one-time thing that they just happen to be in the Alps or wherever the fuck, right. And they're going to be with Tom and wherever they go. They go to Hawaii, but it's going to be very quick. It's not going to be, and I don't mind it being quick, but it better be a lot of different locations. Like if they're going to be jumping around, going to different places to get these emerald shards, or if it's multiple emeralds, we don't know yet. I still am on the boat. I think it's just going to be one emerald, but maybe it breaks at some point. And maybe that Knuckles and Sonic fight is at the midway point, and then that's the later half of the movie is them trying to get the shards together, and then they fight in one big epic battle, and we haven't seen it yet. But watching this trailer, and we've seen all the different trailers, I feel like Sonic in the beginning there, of him being Batman, basically, and that scene of them on the boat later on, I think is going to be the beginning of the film. And I think they're going to be like, hey, Sonic, you're going to stay home while we go to this wedding.
Right. She doesn't want you there.
And then Tails is going to come and be like, hey, there's trouble coming. Eggman, there's some crazy guy that I think Eggman. He's with this other echidna, and they're trying to get the Master Emerald. We need to go here. And then Sonic's like, oh, I can't. There's going to be some conflict there of him like, he earned their trust to stay at home by himself because he's a big boy now. And so what's going to happen, I think, is they're going to go to where they think Eggman is, which is going to be in this mountain range or something. Mm-hmm. And that's where we're going to meet Knuckles. Maybe well, then I don't know, because we meet Knuckles in their house, but maybe they come back to the house first and they go to the Alps and then come to Hawaii. I don't know. I don't know the order of events. I think you're
basically on the money there. I think we probably open with the fishing trip and Tom saying, we're going to Hawaii for a wedding. You have to stay home. You don't want to go anyway.
Don't be Blue Justice.
You sit around.
Just take it easy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They leave. Maybe Tails doesn't show up yet, but that fight there at that house, that might even be their house. I don't know.
It looks like their house from what I remember.
It could be
the outside that they just blow up.
Maybe it opens with that. You know what I mean? Or like obviously we're getting this coffee shop scene. That's probably our introduction for Eggman, and maybe we talked about the flashback, but it's possibly of him, going through the temple with all of the traps and all that. But like the main story order is probably going to be what you said. I think we fight Knuckles at the house, and then Tails comes and says, "I'm looking for these Chaos Emeralds. There is one on this planet." There's this, it's the owl ruins and the snowy peaks, what I mean? And then Tails and Sonic go there because we can't introduce Knuckles just randomly on a snowboard, especially since, of course, we talked about lines being changed for trailers. Robotnik introduces Sonic to Knuckles at that house. They meet there. Yeah. It makes sense for them to meet there. It looks cool for them to meet there. Having him, just this red guy's chasing him on a snowboard is a little weird, if that's the intro, right?
I wonder if him meeting with Agent Stone again is after the snow, the mountain range, that Sonic escapes, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to go down to their home. And because I honestly wonder if it should be funny, is Agent Stone has a coffee shop in Green Hills. Because I think he comes out of that building there. I think that is his coffee shop. And then I think that
Maybe.
might be in Green Hills.
The time of day is different, though.
I think he gets there at night, and then the next morning they attack. Basically, that's what I'm thinking. Is so it's gonna happen. We're gonna go from boat trip / I'm going to Hawaii. Sonic, you're staying home. Either Knuckles attacks them, or Tails says we need to go find this Master Emerald. It's in the mountain range near us. It could be near. It could just be they're in Montana. There's mountains there. Hey, it could just be up ahead there. It's not that far. We can go. We'll be home by night. They won't even know you're gone. Cool. They go do that. Knuckles and Eggman are back, and they're there. Well, no, see, now it goes back to the house thing. I don't know. I don't know the order of events.
I think they...
But I think I think we're on the right path. It's just like what goes first. But like generally speaking, I think it's boat trip, either attack at the house, or they leave the house, and there's attack, and it winds up at the house. But Sonic does get away at some point. Well, we know Sonic gets away from the mountains, but...
Now, here is my other thought. So logically now, Sonic and Tails can't meet on the plane for the giant Death Egg robot fight. It doesn't make any sense. Because the Death Egg robot has more scenes now, with him almost stepping on Sonic, and the Master or the Chaos Emerald, the Green Emerald is on the ground, and then Tom's truck comes and saves him,
which I think is cool.
You know what I mean? This is now, keeping him active in the action. Now, in my mind, I see that as probably the climactic fight, and not the introduction to Eggman being back that we thought it was. I really hope
not, because that'd be really disappointing.
I think now are Sonic and Knuckles clashing and in the ruins around the Green Emerald with the light. I think that is earlier in the movie. And that is where we've been duped. Maybe Eggman takes it while they're fighting and bounces, and that powers his robot or something like that. And then like Knuckles just isn't shown yet. Maybe Knuckles doesn't trust Sonic, so he goes to try to stop him himself, and whatever, they meet back up again. Because you also got to remember, Devin, before we even got a confirmation Knuckles was in this movie, we got those set photos and videos with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles in a city street, just standing. It was just their posings, and they were posing together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Clearly they were fighting on the same side, and it was in the city. I honestly think now we're getting our climactic fight in Green Hills again, and the Death Egg robot is marching its way there.
I really hope not, and I hope it's more of like the halfway point, and we get something else that they haven't shown at all for the latter half of the film. Do we even know yet how long this film is? Because I think the last one was, an hour and a half? Hour 40 minutes tops? It was a short
I don't think we'll know. Also, I just quickly want to point out, there's people swimming behind the wedding in the ocean.
Oh, it's probably like a resort or something, you know. I do like
surfing back there.
I do like the comedy though of him throwing a ring at a wedding. I think I'm sure they'll do more jokes with that. And I do like the snow coming in. That's pretty good. But
yeah, there's
that giant laser. By the way, they show briefly, like from outside the Earth's orbit, and it shows it again. By the way, we have the trailer on in the background, like we're both watching it, so we're kind of like, I think that's what's helping us remember some of the things in the trailer. But like there's a big atomic level of an explosion, it looks like, and it goes to the outside the Earth. But I wonder if maybe that could be something later on. But they're kind of trying to hide it with making it look like it's that green laser there. It's just hard to tell if like what time do they get to the Master Emeralds. Does Eggman get it? But clearly he does use it, and he gets a dope-ass
has that
green suit.
chaos energy. Yeah,
I love that suit. By the way, he looks fire with that. I like that shit.
I don't like it. I want him to be red. But I'm glad that they're bringing back the Longclaw Owl stuff. Like, you had this weird aspect lore thing that was only in your movie in the beginning of it, and I was just under the assumption we would never see that again unless we went back to that one place. And like, no, it seems to be more prevalent.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking, okay, if this thing is where Chaos Emerald is, does that mean Longclaw had one, new one? You know what I mean? Was she protecting one on Green Hill Zone?
They meant Knuckles literally says he's an Echidna warrior, and we're all those ones that assassinated Longclaw. Basically,
they were Echidna warriors, right?
Were they Echidna warriors?
I mean, we didn't get that specific name. We just saw tribal warrior Echidnas.
Yeah, and we did watch a couple episodes ago. We did rewatch the Sonic movie, but with the director's commentary. And at least at that point, they just said they threw that in there as like because they didn't know they were making a sequel, so they threw that in there as more of a, hey, we just thought it'd be a cool thing, but it's not Knuckles, but it's Echidnas. People will like that, I think. That's why they threw that in. At least have them be the enemy there. So whether or not they kind of like touch upon that, I don't know. But maybe because the fact that they're throwing Longclaw, but maybe they'll have more scenes. That's another thing. They could have more flashbacks to Longclaw.
You know what I just realized? Sonic has only ever seen echidnas that try to kill him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't even put that two and two together really all that much. But yeah, no, like, what if, ooh, here's an interesting thing that I hope isn't the case, but it's possible if they're trying to be interesting with their lore. What if, they're fighting over this green Chaos Emerald? I'm going to call them Chaos Emeralds from this point on, because I think that's what they are.
Okay.
I just think that either they're doing the stupid thing where they're all green, which is dumb. You're not trying to change anything else for the sake of simplifying it. Sonic, it looks, Knuckles, they all look that way. So if they're simplifying all the colors so that they're all green, that's stupid. Maybe they're only fighting over the green one. If that is the case, and there are different Chaos Emeralds and they're all different colors, right? What if Longclaw was protecting the blue one and that got absorbed or that became Sonic? A red one is Knuckles because he also has red energy in him. They call in the book, the novelization, which may not be canon in terms of the specific things it says, Sonic calls itself its chaos energy.
That book is actually wind up being resourceful into this conversation.
Yes, it's his chaos
yes, that's right. We
energy.
did the homework
and they said that only then just because they wanted to just have a little tie to the games, right? That's just a little mention that, oh yeah, they said a noun, a proper noun that's in this video game. It's in a completely different context, but sure. What if Sonic is the blue Chaos Emerald, Knuckles is the red one? Tails could be the yellow one, but we haven't seen him do anything. Besides, I got my fucking corkboard behind me. At the end of the Sonic movie where Tails is revealed, he zips away in a yellow quick super speed fly. So it's possible he's not just a regular freaking Tails.
He's not a regular freaking
like whatever he's supposed to be, a fox. Yeah. Canonically, Sonic is friends with Tails because Tails has two tails and he got bullied a lot.
Oh wow.
Sonic said, "Yeah, I'll be your friend. I'm super selfish though. Everything's about me." Knuckles has this red chaos energy as he's doing these flurry of blows in front of, Sonic. That is my new theory. Also, this trailer at the bottom has a Discord channel it mentions. That's my theory right now.
I like that theory really because they keep talking about his power in the first one, him trying to learn to control it. And Longclaw in the beginning of that first movie, they don't talk about it too much, but they mentioned that he has power or he's special and that people want that power.
Yep. People want Chaos Emeralds. Now think about this thematically. If you're making a series of movies about Sonic the Hedgehog and they're all connected to each other. It's not like the games where it's just they could have happened, they could not have happened. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like Mario does the same stuff. Mario is not in a sequential order.
Yeah.
Duh, right? Sometimes he's a doctor, sometimes he's not. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter, right? If every single time we're just fighting over the same 7 MacGuffins that are superpower, that's boring. So maybe they thought about our first movie set up in a way where we could pivot that idea and say Sonic is a Chaos Emerald. It's absorbed into him. He absorbed the power. I don't think they do anything body horror wise of a Chaos Emerald morphed into a living creature or anything like that. Somehow he came into contact with that. And that's what he is. And then Knuckles is the red versions. That's how we can do the different things.
Sonic is a protector of one of them, and it's him.
And he just doesn't know it because he was a baby.
He physically is he is not an emerald, but the power is him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That would be dope because again, I don't know how many movies of we're fighting over the Chaos Emeralds. The games can do that because there's a great amount of time between the games, when they release, so it's okay. I just like playing the Sonic game. Or sometimes they don't. More often than not, I don't. But they do it anyway. Yeah. You know what I mean? But for a movie, if it's just constantly Tom's going to give him another speech about Now we have to get the silver Chaos Emerald. Everyone remembers the cyan one. Remember the trophy says, what's a cyan? Or get it in that one next. Or, you know what I mean? So I feel like this idea is neat. Now, when they introduce Shadow the Hedgehog, there's no Black Chaos Emerald. They'd have to figure things out as they go, right? For the entire Sonic lore going forward, if they do this idea. I am now at 100% excitement, Devin. I am now in the, oh my god, there's now an Avengers Infinity War trailer. I'm so excited. Everything is possible. Your mind's going crazy. They could do so many things, and it ends up just being very simple and basic.
It might not
Nothing
even be
crazy.
anything you just said.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
Could be just like, nah, Knuckles is just like that.
It's fun to theorize about this stuff. And my theory makes a little bit of sense. You know, it makes a little bit of sense.
No, I like it. It's a good one. I like that one. One thing I want to point out, too, that small little detail here. Looks like Knuckles has, like, purple eyes.
You got, like, a pink-purple kind of flash of color.
Which makes me think, what if he has two
power,
emeralds? He got red emerald and, like, a purple emerald. Is there a purple emerald?
And that's why he's able to beat Sonic. Yeah, I think they're glowing because he's using his power. I don't think it's necessarily...
Maybe they didn't want to do red because that's evil or something. I don't know.
Well, what color are Knuckles' eyes normally? I don't think he has color.
They're like black.
I think they're just black. You know, because Sonic has the green around his eyes.
I want to say the U.S. military
cool.
is like ready for Eggman, by the way, and then he uses his powers. So it makes me think that like Sonic knows where they're going, and maybe they tell the military. Maybe we get back our general that we had at the end of the.
No, he has purple. Knuckles has purple eyes.
Oh wow,
confirmed.
We're not fake fans.
I've never looked that deeply into Knuckles' eyes.
Well, he's looking at his gloves, not his eyes.
I mean, yeah. His giant spiky gloves.
Now for a silly prediction. Speaking of spiky gloves, does he take the gloves off? Does anyone take the gloves off in this? No pun intended, not like fighting, but like, no.
Sonic never did. I can see that as a joke on like the fourth movie. You know what I mean? Where they're really, okay, let's examine how goofy this idea is, you know? Like, I still believe one of these future movies, they'll bring back the old design.
What if they try to pull an Avengers Infinity War and they're trying to take the gloves off of Knuckles?
Oh my god.
They're like, we need to get all the friends.
Sonic's going to reference the Winter Soldier. That means he's seen the movies, you know?
Those are right, movies he does mention that, right?
Yeah, I don't know who in the marketing office first for some movie company, some production company, some publishing company, whatever, Paramount, whoever, said, you know what? People don't watch trailers online anymore because they're too long. Let's, before the trailer starts, throw something flashy and then say the trailer starts now. Because every fucking movie does this now, I swear. And this movie does the thing where he says the Winter Soldier line there and in the trailer.
People have short
I get it.
spans,
now I don't like it anymore. I don't like the line anymore. But sometimes jokes are not used in the movie that they are in the trailers. One thing I actually do want to point out, we're at the wedding scene again. Tom threw the ring. This could not mean anything. It could be something as simple as Tom only took one ring, but Sonic says use the ring. Not use my rings. Use the ring. What if there's only one left? What if we get a montage at the beginning where they waste them all?
There's gotta be, because they show left. The mushroom. Well, at least I think someone else. I think Knuckles might have access to them or something, because you see they're in the mushroom world, and he throws the ring down. That's the other thing is, how much will we see of Eggman getting away from?
I think.
Will that be in the beginning too? I feel like it has to be, right?
Here is now my prediction on how this movie opens. We open with Knuckles. We learn about Knuckles. What Knuckles does. What's his purpose. Somehow, Knuckles is overlooking, or his people are overlooking, but we know in the games he's just alone, which is sad.
Yeah.
Honestly. He's just got that solitude to him. This Fortress of Solitude with this ice place. Superman's Fortress of Solitude. Somehow there is a disturbance or something is off with one of the places he looks over, and it's the mushroom place, and he goes there to investigate, and we see Eggman. I bet we begin with learning about Knuckles, just like how the movie begins with something we never knew was really going to be in it all that much. and it opens with that, with the Baby Sonic stuff and just like the learning about stuff, and then the movie begins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, no, I guess the movie actually cold opens with him being chased.
Yeah.
In San Francisco. I guess I take that back a little bit. So maybe they do something similar to the same type of format. But I would not be surprised. We need to actually understand who Knuckles is and understand why he's doing this. He's getting tricked, obviously. The movie is setting him up as just, he's a bad guy, but he's not a bad guy. He gets tricked. We need to actually be sympathetic to Knuckles and know, oh, okay, he's a good guy. He's just being tricked. You know what I mean? He can't just be a bad guy and then we find out that he's cool because he doesn't like Eggman anymore. So I think we open up with Knuckles and we sympathize him. You know what I mean? Plus, give Idris Elba like an opening line to a movie. I mean, come on.
It's him doing a monologue in the beginning. He's like, everyone always said I had a sexy voice, but that doesn't help me protect the Master Emeralds. Something like that. I think it's going to cold open with Sonic fighting in the city. That's my kind of take, because I think that's going to tie into him being lectured on the boat in the lake there in Montana with
yeah, I can see that too.
I because I think it's gonna, this might be a little bit like too many like dominoes falling in the right place, but like since the Batman movie just came out, and will be like at its tail end when this movie comes out, that they might start it like with Sonic doing a monologue about how he like is a superhero in this city now, and like, because you know, like that's kind of how the Batman movies kind of like starts off with like that kind of like monologue, right? So like what if they kind of like joke about that, but like they can't assume when they're making this movie that the Batman's going to come out this time because of how many movies have been delayed and whatnot.
And Batman was delayed.
So it's like,
like a lot.
Would that be too like hoping, and like, but would it still just be funny regardless? Like of him having a monologue, a superhero monologue where he's like, you know, like, I've been fighting these thugs in the streets for the last couple months, blah, blah, blah. Obviously he's all just joking, and, you know, he's just going to have this one encounter, probably get in trouble, and then this is in San Francisco or something. That's not Green Hills, that city there. That's looks like it could be San Francisco again. Maybe he gets in trouble with the cops, but then since
Eggman teleports. Sorry, that popped up in the trailer. We need to mention that too at some point.
Oh yeah.
Go on.
But I was gonna say that Tom is gonna like have to like get him out of jail or whatever.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Well, I think he's gonna start He's gonna try to be a vigilante, and I think it might get him in trouble, or like maybe he want to go to jail,
run away from anything.
Yeah, but like I think Tom's gonna find out one way or another. And
no, that was Seattle in the beginning. There
was it Seattle?
Because the Space Needle was in the Blue Justice stuff. Space Needle was there.
Seattle's also, I guess, kind of near Montana. I mean, it's closer.
It's West Coast.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously
that's
it's
how
hundreds
I think
of miles away.
I think it'd be kind of funny if it cold opens and it's just making fun of like all the superhero intros where the superhero's doing a monologue, and especially if it's like the Batman, because he literally says like Tom literally says like you can't just be Batman or whatever, and he's like,
yeah,
you know, it's
running around pretending to be Batman.
Yeah. But yeah, the Eggman teleports. Is that what I missed it. I mean, we've watched this trailer like 80 times at this point.
Probably. Yeah, he in his green suit, he teleports and has this like I don't know, just like dead look to him. He definitely has the Chaos Emerald.
Or a shard of it or something. Maybe he has it attached to something. Like, you know how like you can make a clock out of an orange, like you have the little like,
okay, yeah.
Maybe he like can't like break it, but he's able to like draw energy from it, and that's maybe what he's doing in I still believe that like he's coming out of the coffee shop, and I still think it would be funny that Agent Stone just somehow got a job or started a business in Green Hills just so he can scout out Green Hills, but like no one cares, or maybe he tries to play it up in some way. Maybe we get a scene with that where, you know, like, oh, how did you like start a business in Green Hills? Like everyone knows that you were like working with me, and maybe he just says like, oh, I just told them I'm cool now, and they just believed it. I think that'd be a fun way to just be like, no one gives a shit.
That's likely now that I see these scenes a bit more. One thing I want to point out when not Knuckles, when Eggman is the green, no one Knuckles isn't with him, Agent Stone isn't with him. And now, granted, we only see him in 2 brief little scenes. I think it's just coming up where he flashes, teleports in. This trailer's really long. It's like right there.
Yeah, so
he's
already green and shit.
Yeah,
but then he comes out of that place in the morning and he's green and shit. That's what I'm saying. I still think that he has to be coming out of that. He's coming out of that shop at some point, but it's not.
If he absorbs the Chaos Emerald, then we can take my theory a little bit further. Then,
yeah,
because then that means it's a possibility. You know, I'm liking this because, again, like the Chaos Emeralds in the very first game, they were just bonus things to get, and if you didn't get them when you beat the game, you got like a bad ending, so to speak. Just Robotnik is laughing at you and he's juggling them or whatever. From the second game onward, it's just things you get and you become Super Saiyan. Like, it's just a Dragon Ball Z reference, really. That's not how it works in the show. You know, you get all the 7 Dragon Balls and you get to make a wish from the Great Dragon that comes true. They can become Super Saiyan regardless. But still, like, they're the MacGuffins that you get.
Yeah.
Having 7 of them for a movie doesn't really feel like it serves any bigger of a purpose than just having 1. So if they're fighting over 1, and it's always this green one we keep seeing, that makes sense, because then they can split it up like, Sonic is the blue one, Knuckles is the red one. They can really, just like, dole some of these out.
Open this onion here, I think.
It just makes sense because, like...
It makes 100% sense.
Like, having 7 of them doesn't change... If all 7 of them are together and Eggman does this stuff, that's no different than if this movie just wants to have him have the 1. You know what I mean? Because then you have to hunt them all down. You're spending a lot of time with these different emeralds. If we just kind of retcon it in that some of our characters had the emeralds inside them, so to speak.
Their power,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just so happens that there's a blue one, a yellow one, and a red one. Like our 3 main dudes, you know? Like, yeah, sure, Amy, if they bring Amy, there's no pink one. It's like cyan, green, silver. There's green, blue, red, yellow. Green, blue, red, yellow. Cyan. There's a silver one. There's a purple one. So those are the 7. So if they want, I mean, the easy thing you can say is Silver the Hedgehog, but no one gives a fuck about Silver the Hedgehog. I'm sorry, guys. No one cares. I mean, some of you do, sure, but like, he's not going to come before they introduce Shadow the Hedgehog or anything like that.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
So it's not going to be 100%, they'll have to figure out their canon as they go. They can't 1-to-1 tie every Sonic fuck with their own colored emerald. Maybe Amy gets the purple one. It doesn't have to even be that way,
though. Like, it could just be a coincidence that they're that color, and it just makes sense aesthetically to have... Okay, Sonic, there's been... Maybe in the beginning it's all about Sonic as a kid, and he's being told by Longclaw that, like, hey, there's 7 Master Emeralds, and you're one of them. Like, we try to keep it... The best way to keep it safe, we realized, was to give it to you, instead of it being in a temple that someone can figure out the puzzles or whatnot, which is what looks like the green one is.
She could make a joke about one day he'll be the death of her, and then that literally happens.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You know what'd be neat? What if Tails doesn't have the yellow one? But, like, throughout this movie, he proves himself, and he gets one. You know what I mean? Because Tails is always he's a smart guy, or smart kid, rather. He's like 6 years old. Who knows how old they'll play him in this movie.
Dad.
Yeah, I could smoke. I guess technically you always could smoke. You just couldn't purchase them.
Yeah.
A weird distinction in this country for cigarettes. But he's always, a little bit unsure of himself sometimes, believing in himself, and is how he was able to take down Eggman in Sonic Adventure. He's believing in himself is what, but that means he can't start believing in himself when we start our story. He's got to prove himself a little bit. It would be a little weird if Tails already had the yellow one when he meets Sonic. You know what I mean? If we're going to do our thing of, like, it doesn't, like, yes, like, Sonic could probably run fast if he didn't have the blue Chaos Emerald. Knuckles could probably still punch, you know what I mean? Maybe not as well, and these just amplify it, you know? Tails is probably just Tails, but then maybe we give him that yellow Chaos Emerald.
I still think it's just going to be they
later.
have it. They just have powers, and at some point, maybe not in the beginning, but we find out that, like, the reason they have all these extra abilities, or maybe their abilities are enhanced, and, like, it's literally they're showing, like, almost like electricity.
Yeah.
That makes me think it's just...
Chaos energy.
It's chaos energy. And he only... Remember, Sonic only got it when he was upset, when he's in a quote-unquote chaotic mood, right? Like, not a mood where he's getting a lot of...
Uncontrollable.
Yeah. Which...
I think right here, Sonic Knuckles is just like, or what color is he? Red. Red, just like energy is flying all around him as he does this 100-hand slap towards Sonic.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. I love that Tom's ringtone here at the wedding scene is the Emerald Hill Zone music.
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay, so do we have anything else we want to talk about in this trailer? I feel like the Ethan theory, if I can take credit for it, the Sonic movie show theory about what the Chaos Emeralds and all that stuff. I'm convinced now. I've radicalized myself based off my own rational mind. I'm one of those people. I'm a rational thinker. I have no evidence, but I think it's true now. I think we're onto something there. If anything, that just seems like that's a smart idea that they could tell the story, regardless of if the way they're telling it isn't that, and if it's not good, or if it is, who knows. I like this idea. I like this idea. Now I hope it is, just so that we can come out and say, like, hey, we knew.
And one thing I hope that doesn't happen is that the ending isn't what this trailers are showing. It isn't the giant robot. I hope that's maybe a midpoint, and that's where Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails realize they need to team up, at least temporarily, and then maybe along the way they become friends and realize they have more in common. I hope that's what happens, even if, like, I don't know. Like, I really hope what happens, like, that happens is that the robot comes to the second half. Eggman looks unstoppable. He basically wipes out Green Hills because remember it shows Sonic getting saved. Maybe Sonic doesn't win. Maybe Eggman wins, and his robot is going.
The robot's just there.
The robot's going to march to the next city to destroy, like a fucking, like, literally like a mech.
God, this shot of it rising up behind our beaten up Sonic as the emeralds in the foreground. That's such a good shot. That's your one perfect shot Twitter account. Tweet, use that, please.
Yeah. So I hope it's in the middle, and I guess that's what I want based off what I'm shown. And even if I'm expecting that, like, I'm not gonna be disappointed. But I wouldn't be disappointed, though, I think, unless the fight is like 25 minutes long and it's fucking insane, and it's like they just showed us the surface of the fight and it is at the end. Maybe I'll take that, but, like, I don't know. I just really hope they didn't show all their cards, and my expectations are changed throughout. And I hope it opens with something that none of us have said, or if it does say it, it does it a much better job in which you explained it.
Because the first movie's trailers gave everything away. It gave everything away. The first movie's trailers gave everything away. My fear is that they're just doing the same thing, and that nothing is new or interesting, because while this movie seems, like it's going to be fun, I feel like we need certain scenes that they're not showing, certain adventuring locations to go to with Sonic and Tails. You know what I mean?
Or if it's not locations.
This is a 3-minute trailer.
Yeah.
Of like a probably 2-ish hour movie, either under or over, who knows. There's a lot going on in this movie. Hopefully. Hopefully it's not simple, because that first movie was simple, like you were saying before. So I am still excited. I'm at 102%.
We're still cheering for this movie, 100%. We want this movie to be fun. We want it to be successful, because, I mean, they already said they're making a third, but there's not a dotted line that they signed, I'm sure, yet. Or even if they did, people could be like, you know what, that second one bombed.
If this did really bad financially, they never said it was coming to theaters, right? The third one that could go straight to Paramount Plus, and it's scaled way back. You know what I mean? It's the new direct to DVD. Is just send it to Netflix.
Yeah,
you know,
you might not even have an Eggman anymore, because Jim Carrey's not going to do Well, that's not true.
Right.
He has done like smaller TV shows, but like this isn't a movie like I feel like would do well. It's just like you said, it's gonna be scaled back a ton, and it probably won't even be interesting. Yeah.
Now, actually, real quick, we watched the trailer, the final trailer. The day before this trailer came out, they did the super fast cut of it, which most of the frames were not actually from this trailer. It was random stuff like sexy Idris Elba with Knuckles as Knuckles, hands, and like Ben Schwartz wearing Sonic's giant shoes.
Oh, I didn't even realize. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, Wario64, I believe, took all the frames on Twitter or something like that. Yeah, there's just like a glamour shot of Idris Elba, like kind of laying on his arms, on his hands, but their knuckles, like his
that's great.
gloves.
That's great.
So there was that. I thought that was a kind of dumb, in my opinion, marketing thing because like it gave me nothing personally.
I think they just knew that people were going to pause it, so they didn't want to actually put anything spoilery in it and just have something.
I did find it funny that the whole video was still like 2.5 minutes. But it was just hanging on the Sonic 2 in theaters April 8th for 2.5 minutes since it got through everything in 10 frames.
I was going to say, I do like that because if you follow the @Sonic Movie Show account, I retweeted a couple of them. But some of the actors were posting like pictures. They were giving them these pictures, but posters of each of their characters just like by themselves. Like Agent Stone got one.
Really? I didn't see those.
Yeah, Jim Carrey tweeted his where it's just Eggman looking at the camera and it just says, Sonic 2. Ben Schwartz got one, and it's Sonic, obviously. It's like all the actors in it did it, and I thought that was cool. Oh, and Jesus Christ, I'm forgetting everyone's name now.
Jesus is in it?
No, yeah, Jesus is in it.
Tails?
No, Tom, Jeff Marston, like he posted John Marston. No, not you messed it up so many times that like I don't even remember now what it is. James Marston. It's James.
James Marston.
Sorry,
Jeff Fowler.
James. Yeah, we're thinking of Jeff Fowler. Sorry, James. On his Instagram, he posted like his like one shot of the poster as well. So yeah, there's been all the actors been getting into it now, and it's very exciting. I'm excited to see if we're gonna get any more. I don't think so. That's why we did this episode now. And we're probably not doing another episode like this until the movie. I mean, unless something like really crazy happens. I'm gonna try to avoid any leaks because I know that's been kind of happening. I've seen some some Sonic fans complain about it on Twitter, but I haven't seen anything myself.
And
if I do, and if I see anything, I'm obviously not going to tell Ethan. So it's like. And we don't want to be spoiled about it. And I understand some of that shit is like toys and shit, but like, yeah, let's just try to avoid that.
Toys ruin every movie.
Yeah,
every movie now. I mean, we are gonna try our best. We have we got the early screenings, whatever. It's April 6th instead of the 8th. We're gonna try to have our review up on the 6th. As always, for new movies, we're gonna do our spoiler-free thoughts for the first 20 minutes or so, and then go full-blown. So if you're able to see it that day, cool, listen to the whole thing. If not, then, get our early thoughts, and then come back later. No one's going to delete it off your phone or your YouTube box or wherever. I don't know. If you listen to this somewhere else, let me know. Who has their ringer on at a wedding? Tom. She has a right to hate you. Jesus. Yeah. So, any case, yes, that's our plan for that. It's just that week's episode will come either early or late, depending on how we structure the weeks setting up. But the next time we'll really talk about this, unless there's news regarding future Sonic movie stuff, will be for the review. So, thank you guys for stopping by.
It's really like I'm looking at it's crazy. It's less than 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
3 weeks from now, the movie's going to be out everywhere. From this day we're recording, it's March 17th of when we're recording this, so it's going to be out everywhere. In the United States. I know Japan's not getting it until like July, which is
what?
Yeah, I saw that. It's like they're not getting it to July, but it happened the last time. The first one, remember, it got delayed in like most of the Asian countries because of COVID.
Right, that's because of COVID, and maybe it still is. But wow, okay. Well, any case, yeah, like I said, we will see you next time for this movie on April 6th, but next week for another regular episode of the Sonic Movie Show. Bye-bye.